Right, good afternoon everybody. I'm Josh Stansfield, I'm representing Siemens, I'm a project manager, specifically working on the Class 66 core fleet and the Class 66 variant first in class. It's being done at Freightliner in Leeds. We're here to talk about some of the lessons that we learned through these two installations. I'll hand over to Matt.
Afternoon everyone. So my name's Matt Brooks, for the prototype bit.
Thanks Matt. So yeah, when we talk about a prototype approach, the approach that we took in the beginning with 66039 was to try and get a final design done before we fitted the system to the locomotive. Now, that came with a lot of challenges, and when change does occur, which is likely in this type of installation, it's a long drawn-out process. Now, what we would suggest as learning for the project and for anybody that's thinking of fitting to vehicles would be to do a prototype approach to fitment, so that you get the bare bones of a design, you start to fit the kit, you learn the lessons, you understand what things work, what things don't, and then any changes to design would be a lot more of a slick process. So yeah, that would be our biggest lesson there. For those that are project managers in the room, maybe close your ears for this one. I think it's all very basic stuff, but it's lessons that we've learned and things that we failed on. But when we talk about project management principles and processes, whilst we were technically ready for the fitment of 66V in Freightliner, we had materials, we had the people, we had the documentation, we hadn't really contemplated the need for the softer skills and the roles and responsibility assignments and things like that. So because of this, there were a lot of back and forth between who's responsible for what, whether that be Siemens looking after the installation people or Freightliner looking after the installation people. It was very, very mismatched. So again, it sounds pretty basic, but it's very important, and it is part of Siemens' principles as a project management organisation that these type of things are actually covered. This vehicle was actually at a different fitment partner's site for an extended period of time. That fitment partner then dropped out of the installation. So Freightliner stepped up at short notice and allowed us to move the vehicle to their site to then be able to fit it. But because of that reduced time frame, that then led to some of these things not taking place. So yeah, likely root cause, project was stood up with limited time for preparations and focused primarily on technical readiness, which, to be honest, I think without trying to I-5 and backslap too much, I think Freightliner did an excellent job of becoming ready for that in the short term. So yeah. So my advice would be do what project managers should do, and that is create a clear work breakdown structure and a project plan, a communication strategy that's agreed between all parties, whether that be Siemens, Network Rail, Freightliner, any other fitment partner or freight operating company. Ensure that site rules and expectations are met and agreed. You know, things like we have multiple stakeholders visiting site. There's still some times where the expectations are not clear and the, people are not expected to be on site when they are. So depot managers and people like that are not necessarily involved in the whole project are not overly keen on this idea that we have multiple people just coming in, taking photos, doing whatever we want. So yeah, making sure that's set up. Again, roles and responsibility matrix, escalation processes as well, and then regular check-in meetings that are necessary with all the stakeholders. Over to you, Cara.
Go for it.